Hello and welcome back to Factorio Fixit. My name's Negative10. Let's get cracking. Today we're playing a factory by A2. He sent this through to me and said have a look, so let's have a look. Now, quite an interesting factory and quite well planned and well laid out, and I'll show you why in a little while. But let's get cracking. Let's see if we can offer some tips on efficiency and straightening out belts, because I think that's going to be the common theme here today. So let's just have a quick look here at something. Now this belt, okay, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. It is in itself kind of a self-balancing build. It might have a situation where it won't be balanced. However, that situation will be quite rare because, well, it's only plastic, and you know, rarely does plastic ever kind of outstrip your supply, or rather your production. So let's work through the factory, see if we can offer some ways in which to improve the builds. And it's going to be a lot of this, straightening out curves. I think for the most part this is a very, very solid build and very well thought out. This, yeah, probably not ideal, but you know, it is what it is. Now let's just have a quick look see here. Let's see what happens when we put a bit of a load on the system. You know, the best way of seeing how good a system works is to flog all the electric circuits from the main bus and see what happens. And while that's thinking about that, we'll just come up here and ditch the majority of them into the logistics network. Now, as I said, the best way to see what happens is to put the load on the system. You can see that this is very, very strong. Now, depending on how this build is set up, so you can see that we've got lots of buffer storage just waiting to be activated. Some strong builds here set up and ready to go. What's this doing? Why is this not working? Iron plate. This is an edge condition problem. So this was in the 11 branch somewhere, I'm thinking. Notice that these, I had this bug, right, where the inserter wouldn't detect that these had been pushed into its square. So as soon as you pick it up, right, they start working again. And it wasn't something they fixed until later saves, but it still pops up occasionally, which is a little bit odd, but you know, it is what it is. So here we've got, you know, two builds, very strong circuit builds, and that's, you know, feeding this. Now here you'll notice that we're getting compression losses, which is interesting because we really shouldn't have them. I don't think. Well, at a theoretical level, yes, we're going to have them, simply because we've got two rebalancers that is doing this work for us. So what we need, okay, is to see if we can reduce the compression losses due to corners by doing this kind of thing. Bada bing, bada boom. Problem solved. So you can see what a difference compression makes. Now here, what we'll do is we just need to skip this over a couple, so that we're up here somewhere under the rainbow. That's actually a good song. I didn't like the Barbra Streisand version. I like the one from 50 First Dates. That was the really good one. I enjoyed that version of that song. 10 points if you can pick the singer. He's dead. That's probably a pretty harsh hint, but yeah, unfortunately, great talent taken from us too soon. I don't think his health situation was very good. There we go. So that is that. We just effectively cut out a whole bunch of corners there. Same thing here. Now we can see these balances all over the shop, and they're a bad idea. What you need is to skip them back over using this kind of idea. That way you get a compressionless corner, or a compressionless skip. And instead of doing this, same thing here. I'll just put a little gap in between them, make sure that it keeps on flowing, so that they don't get confused and go to each other. I'll just work backwards here. Not sure about that one. So there is a way of doing a compressionless, sorry, a lossless, compression lossless corner, and that is okay. So this is weird, right? This is weird. We've got things coming up here when we've got it already being, you know, shoveled up here this way. So what I would say is that we need to do something like this, right? Just delete this entire thing and see what happens. Because really, if you've done it right, you shouldn't need to, you know, hack together a bit of throughput up there. It should all work pretty straightforward, and not have any need for, you know, weird shit. Weird shit is not good. You're trying to avoid that. Gotcha. Now, I said earlier that this is a very well planned out factory, and I have a clue there. Where is it? Here it is. You know it's well planned out when someone writes what's going where on the map. So clearly, copper plate, iron plate. Very easy, very straightforward to understand, and you know, very good. You know, that kind of planning has resulted in a factory that is hardcore. You know, this thing it's going to take pretty much anything you can throw at it. You know, you can put some really nice hardcore kind of circuit builds on the end of this thing, and it'd run quite respectably. You can see that this double line is pretty much full. Now let's have a quick look see here. It seems like that's working okay. Now what we need to do though is just do something like that, and that will ensure, you know, some balance between the two lines. Now this here, well, for starters, that can go, and so can that lot. Okay, so this here could probably use a little bit of adjustment. Because I have something planned here. Okay, so here we have our line. Now what we want to do is just ensure that it could go both ways if it needs to. So we'll go there. Now what we'll do is we'll split there, and what can we do? Well, here's what we could do, right? This is a compression lossless corner into a dual main bus. Here's how it works. Okay, depending on which needs it. Okay, if it needs to come this way, this little corner thingy will ensure that there's no compression losses, and that'll skip it onto any belt that's needed. If it needs to come up here, well then it just shoots it straight on and on up here. So we'll just delete that quickly and throw one of these down. Okay, compression lossless corner. Probably need to do an advanced tutorial on these belts and this goodness. This looks like it's a bit of a practice area of all things. So now you can see that we've got issues. Right, we'll just do that there. Okay, we can delete that. And these heavy duty belt routing, it just takes practice. And see, this is splitting 50 and 50, and it's all going in different directions. This is very nice through here. It all seems to be working very smoothly. Now this is some pretty advanced stuff, and you will not have to worry about this kind of level of belt routing until you well and truly got the game under thumb, because this kind of stuff is beyond the average player that you're going to see. Now this requested chest is putting out on the line. Okay, this is probably not needed, to be honest. This is probably just introducing losses that you don't really want, and you can avoid using splitters in the right way. So I'll come back to that once the construction bots have come and picked it up. Now moving down here, we can see that we've got good stuff going on left, right and center. we'll remove all of those. Okay, because we could probably remove that from the line. They're not really needed. And see, and then it gets really simple down here. And this is what I'm talking about. When you plan out your stuff, you get this really simple effect where you go, okay, well I need it, I split it, I take it, and you know, Bob's your uncle, Free's your aunt, and the issue is done with. Okay, that's all fine. Could really use some lights around here. Just noticed. Apologies for all you squinting at home. So these little buffer storage areas are not needed. It's trying to keep compression in the lines, but at some point you are going to lose compression the longer it goes on for. That's just how it works. So having those little areas probably not useful. So that's all fixing itself. That's wonderful. So now what we need to do here is just straighten this out. Okay, we'll delete those two. We'll come straight through here, straight through there. Okay, that's all good. Perfect. Okay, so that's fixed that issue, largely. Now, this is something I noticed before. I think we'll dub the octopi. You can see it's splitting out to 4 different purple science making factories, which is fine. You know, I've gone into much depth on why this is not actually needed, and this is okay, fair enough, whatever. If you want to split this equally between 4 factories, this is the ugly way of doing it. Now there is a better way of doing this, and we're going to run through it and discover it together. Let me just pick up all these alien artifacts first. Alien artifacts for days. Okay. So we want to split it equally to 4 factories. That's fine. We can do that. Oh, I keep grabbing the construction bots. That's not good. Oh, there's another one. Stop it! Go away, you little buggers. I'm gonna have to throw all those down again. They just love me. They love me. They're like puppies, but different. So, what was there was correct. So 1, 2, 3, and wow. Damn it. Okay. That one's going to have to be ugly. So what we need is 4 outputs basically. So we're going to go this like this. That last one's not going to work. Rightio. This is my version of the octopi. There we go. And, you know, personal preference is going to come in largely on how you like your spaghetti to look. But that's how I like mine to look. It's just a little bit straighter, maybe. Take that. I need 20. There we go. Play. Even. And if we wanted to ensure compression, all we would have to do is a simple little... Right, get this. If we go this way, okay, it's going to put it on the outside of the belt, which means that we're going to need... Yes. Yes. It works. Oh, look at that. So as I said, it depends on how you like your spaghetti. That's how I like mine to look. a little bit more straightforward than the old octopi. So here we go. Let's go back up here. Looks like this has been straightened out for the most part. So we can do that, get the construction bots to eliminate the rest. Same thing here. Take you, and take you. Rightio. Fine, I'll pick these up. Just to keep things moving along here in the video. So there we go, that's that done. Now something you need before and after a split is another balancer, just to ensure that it's even across the lines. It's been stumbled across here, which is good. That's all fine, that's all fine. Excellent. And see up here there's quite a chunky circuit build, which is nice. That's going really smoothly, I'm thinking. Now we need the rocket shooting speed, so let's start a bit of a drain on the factory and see what happens. See here that we've got a lot of processing units, which is a good thing. Processing units are rough to build. And I'm thinking that one improvement would be to directly bring these green circuits in. So what we'll do is we'll do that now. We'll do a bit of this advanced belt routing to get all this to work, because I'm thinking that trying to put these through logistics bots is a bad idea. So let's do that there and that there. Okay. So that's that. Now what we're going to need is one full green belt coming in either direction. And actually what we'll do is we'll send it a little bit wider. We'll send it out here so that it goes in like that. Okay. There we go. So we've got our target for both of our green circuit conveyor belts. So that's going to be great. And what we'll do is we'll grab them from here. So there should be the room to get these things up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 50% of the line and we're going to take it up north. Now something that's actually I've just spotted, let's just keep the drain on the line for the moment. Something I've just spotted is we're not going to have the room here with this little doohickey. So we're going to need to come back here and bring it up. That's okay, we can work with that, and we'll just do it there. So you can see how this factory's been planned out. There's enough room to run an underground belt between all of these. Very, very nice prior thought there. And that's something you can only learn through experience or watching someone else play. Now, ideally we'd put a compression lossless corner in there, but we'll just have to run with the blue belt and hope that's enough, really. You can see that we're kind of not there. So let's see what kind of draw this is going to put on the line and whether we're going to have the throughput to run it. The answer is no. We don't have the throughput here to actually run this thing. So we're going to have to get creative and somehow get something really funky in here. Well, maybe there is enough actually. I take it back. There you go. There is enough throughput on the line to actually run this thing. So that's great news, because that means we don't have to get too fancy with it. Because I was actually a little bit concerned about that. I was drawing a blank. Wasn't sure how I was going to solve that one. So let's just get another green line up here. Okay. So as soon as we get this sorted, we can get it all hooked up and on the way. And then we'll just work out our ratios. Because certainly this is getting 50% of one belt, not 50% of two. So let's get 50% of two going on. Okay, so here is that like that. Okay, so we've got 2 belts coming in, 1 belt coming out. We're going to need a... There we go. So that's 50-50. Okay, 50 is going to go north, 50 is going to come down here. Now, there's another way to do this, but this isn't 50-50, just FYI. Okay, that is not going to send 50-50, but it's going to bias the main belt a little bit greater in number. Oh, that's bad English. I'm getting tired. I think this will be the last video for this evening. Okay, here we go. So same thing. There's going to be a bit of a bias towards the main line. It'll be like 60% or something. But there we go. So we've got that sorted, and potentially we can send this to infinity. You know, we can really stretch out this processing unit build and stress our green circuits as much as possible to see what it's really made of and see what it could handle. And indeed, that would be something really cool to do if I was going to keep playing the factory, was to stress out that this blue circuit build and see how far it'll go, and stress out the green circuit build indeed, see how far it can go. But you notice here that we've burnt through a lot of the storage. And what we might do is just here and here and here and here, just delete those, remove those from the line. So it all seems very, very nice, a very good factory, and one I'd love to keep playing, and I probably will just for my own enjoyment. I'm not going to do another Fixit because it doesn't need fixing. You know, that's the long and the short of it. This is all so well planned out that, you know, what am I going to fix? It's just the little things like this where there are just very small corrections that need to be made to the factory to get it to work to its optimum. Same thing here. You know, small things like that are small things. In the scheme of everything, you know, this is a very, very good build. Now, I'm just trying to think, how can we do this better? I don't think I'll touch that. I won't get involved because I'll be here for another 20 minutes trying to, or just fiddling with small minor things. Very, very good factory, I think. If you're going to build a mega factory or a really good factory, take notes from this, because this is really, really excellent. So thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. If you'd like me to play your game, your save, your factory, be sure to send it through to rootnegative@gmail.com. I'd love to have a crack at it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one thing or another. I'm still looking for some really, really difficult early game factories where, you know, you've given it a crack and you just can't solve it. You know, I like that challenge of problems that people have tried to solve and haven't been able to really find a solution yet. That's what I really, really like doing. So you can see here that there's belts and things going everywhere. Yeah, this could be a lot of fun. But I'm going to do that off camera. I'll catch you all later. Thank you very much for joining me.